so this is Jeff going over the corporate litigation virtual presentation, just to point out a few things that we do. Obviously, the beginning of the presentation is the same sort of thing that you're familiar with. All that, we go through the same thing. Then we start with the most basic, and notice in bubble.doc where we're pointing out contracts, calling attention to certain key lines of a contract or a document, showing the signatures here. We do a lot of graphs, diagrams, charts, and there are a lot of different ways you can do it depending on what's most appropriate for that particular case. Here you see a line graph showing how at a certain point in time these two, this group and this group, you can see where it deviated from this group significantly after a certain event happened, which is here. This contract is terminated. You can see the effect that it had on these two compared to that one. In some cases, we're given basically what they want exactly. They just ask us to pretty it up. So here's an example of a pretty straightforward graph, just using some colors to differentiate. Pretty straightforward, traditional bar graph. Not too much flash in there, but you can see how the growth is really clear when it's demonstrated with the bar graph. This is an example of taking a little more artistic license in creating a graph. This was a case where this person had complained to several people. The other side was trying to make it sound like they hadn't really done anything over the course of, this amount of time. They had only talked to a few people, but here we're showing that they had gone and talked to important people further and further up the chain of command in a very visual way of making that point of this small window of time here. Obviously a little artistic license here and showing financial data, how this has gone down, and all of a sudden you see this giant number for this corporation. Notice how we use watermarked dollar bill sign in the background. Timelines. We've done timelines that cover a few minutes and ones that cover years and years. This was a contract dispute over land property that, as you see here, covers over 100 years in one visual. And so we're showing who owned this land, and so we had to go back all the way to the earliest recorded documentation of who owned this land in the 1800s. And the kind of interesting side notes, they had notes that they found from the 1800s where it mentioned that another one of our men was killed by an Indian today, which was pretty wild. And so this was also built as an interactive timeline that I could make available if needed. Here you can see at a glance the chain of title. Again, using visuals kind of in a playful way, but in a memorable way. Here you see the value getting larger and larger, and then you see the house shrinking, and then it's literally upside down and red. Again, same thing with the arrow that fades to red. This was a case where this person wasn't, I guess he was trying to say that he wasn't connected to all these shady operations that were going on that he was aware of, and so they tried to show that, it's very complicated, all these different things and these different places and different locations, and he doesn't know, what so-and-so is doing with so-and-so, but here we're able to show there's all this stuff going around, but at the center of all of it was this person. This is an eminent domain case where we have to show the value of different parts of real estate in different parts of a city. So here in one visual, we're able to show these 6 different locations and the value and where they are in relation to each other. This was a case where this company, trucking company, had this plan for truckers that provided all kinds of benefits that they didn't have to worry about. So we created this visual to show all of the things that are included, the things that they don't have to worry about while they're driving. So we created this visual to show, it includes the phone, the computer,